channel, The Broke Zebra. So I promised you I was going to talk about what this 2018 no spend is. So I'm really trying to get out of debt this year. As I mentioned in my last video, I had this boyfriend. Well, we got engaged last July, so now he's my fiance. So we're planning on getting married next October. And I really don't want to bring a lot of debt into our marriage. We want to, he has fortunately been very smart with money, doesn't have any debt, doesn't even have a car payment, doesn't have any credit card debt, doesn't have any student loans. I'm going to say a lot of this is because his mother is also very smart with money. So she raised a really great guy. I'm very lucky. But I don't want to drag my mess into our marriage. Now, yeah, we're gonna have some debt once we get married. I probably am not gonna get everything paid off by next October. We've talked about that. Bill is okay with that. You know, once we get married, it becomes our debt. But since he is really going to be paying for a majority of our wedding, and we want to save up for a house, and eventually we're probably going to have kids. I don't want to drag this debt into our marriage, especially in the beginning, especially since money is such a big cause of divorce, and a brand new marriage is always difficult. So I'm trying to really change my spending behavior this year, and also save a lot of money by not spending anything on anything that's not necessary. So that's really what a no spend is you don't spend on anything that's not necessary. Doing this for a year might seem a little extreme to some people, but honestly, if you try it for a month maybe and see how it goes. But I felt like whenever I've done these short-term no spends, or a week spending freeze, I have rebounded because I save all this money. And then I see all this money and I think, oh, well, okay, I can buy a little bit of yarn. It won't hurt because look at all this money I saved last week. Okay, so let's get started. So everyone's rules for a no spend are going to be a little bit different depending on your life situation. Like, I don't have kids, so obviously I'm not going to have kids' clothes as an allowable spend item, or a disallowed spend item, because I don't have kids. That's not something I spend money on anyway. So it's kind of, everything's going to be different depending on your situation and your habits. So you really want to tailor your habits of what you're not going to spend money on to what you usually waste money on. Okay, so first of all, I found that the easiest way to write up my no spend rules was to start with what I could spend money on. I thought it was a lot more freeing, and rather than saying like I can spend money on this, I can't spend money on this other thing, I like to think of it as I will spend money on this and I won't spend money on this other thing. And that difference might be a little subtle, but it feels less restrictive, to say that, I feel like can't is an external and won't is an internal. But that's just me. Maybe you want to feel like it's an external pressure. Maybe you want some accountability outside of yourself. So anyway, so things that I will spend money on. Groceries, obviously. I include also things like shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, toilet paper, paper towels, things like that. Bathroom hygiene stuff, cleaning products. I include that in my grocery budget, so I include that all in with groceries. Now this one is kind of a weird one, because you would think on a really hardcore no spend, and that obviously this is gonna be different for everybody, that you wouldn't ever go out to eat or go to movies or amusement parks or whatever. For me, and in the friend group that we're in right now, going out to eat and going to the movies, we have passes to Busch Gardens. Like, that's a really big part of what we do with our friends. I also really like to host people over at our house, so I think, I'm going to try to do that more, but I'm allowing myself to do things like that as long as I'm not the one initiating. Whenever I want to see people, I'm going to invite them over here. We have lots of game systems here. We have good food. Um, Bill's usually got beer in the fridge. So we can host a good time at our apartment and not feel like we're letting anybody down. Um, and it's free. So that's always pretty nice. So I just didn't want to completely exclude going to the movies and going out to dinner with friends. But I'm gonna be really careful about how much money I'm spending when I do stuff like that. So like if you're going out to dinner, really look at the prices of what you're spending. Maybe don't get appetizers, don't get a soda, just get water. Now, for me, everyone's different about this. I like to tip as if I had been spending the amount of money that I would normally spend at a restaurant. So if I buy, just like a soup or a side salad for dinner, I'm not gonna tip the waitress on a $5 dinner meal. That's just crummy to do to somebody. So just kind of think about the fact that that is included in your purchase. That you probably shouldn't be tipping on $5. You should probably be tipping on like a standard dinner because people have to eat. You're paying their bills too. So that's kind of a you can include that or you cannot include it if you are trying to do a really strict no spend and you're not a big person to go out to eat anyway, or your friends don't really go out to eat anyway. Then that's probably you can just eliminate that from your rules. So my next one is I'm gonna get one gift per person for holidays and birthdays. I really like to go overboard on holidays and birthdays. I definitely spend too much money on these because I feel like it's justified to be generous. And I think to some extent it is, but in the financial situation that we're in right now, I just can't afford it. But I think just limiting myself, saying, okay, I'm going to get everyone one thing, and that's it. I'm not gonna even my fiance, which he and I definitely spoil each other, and I do the same thing with my mom and my sister. We probably go overboard. I mean, we definitely go overboard. So I'm cutting it back. They're getting one thing. We're not gonna do stockings full of candy and stuff. We're just gonna do one gift to each other, and that's it, and that's enough, because really, honestly, we're pretty blessed already. There's not a whole lot we need. So that's kind of what that's all about. So household expenses, that would be things like light bulbs, or if we need to fix anything. We need to snake our tub, which I'm not looking forward to. But my rule for this is that I'm going to check and see either if we have the item, because Bill and I have a lot of tools that we don't really use now that we live together. I have a lot of access to tools through my position in the graduate school, through the research that I do. But also, I'm pretty handy. So I'm gonna check and see if there's any way I can make whatever I need. So we were gonna go out this weekend and buy a snake for our tub. I looked it up online, and you can make one out of a coat hanger and some Velcro, and I have both of those things. So I'm gonna try it first. If it doesn't work, we'll be buying a snake. They're not that expensive, but the whole point of a no spend is that even if the item that you need or think you need or want isn't that expensive, you have to try to not buy it. Do everything that you can to not buy it. So tonight I poured boiling water down our drain and our tub, and it didn't work. But I tried it. That's the whole point, is that before you spend money, try everything that you can do that is free. So, because all those little purchases do add up. So we are planning a wedding. So I am going to allow myself to spend money on wedding vendors. So things like down payments for the venue, which we already have, or like the photographer, the wedding planner, DJ, things like that. So because we need to pay those deposits to secure those dates, there's not really any way around it. But obviously, I'm not putting any of that on a credit card. All of that's going to be paid in cash, so like with a check or my debit card. Did the same thing when we paid for our wedding venue. I saved up the money for the down payment and paid it in cash, or paid it with my debit card. So that kind of stuff I am going to allow, because just if I waited until the beginning of next year, a lot of that stuff would be booked up. So that's just kind of a practical thing. So dog and cat food and vet visits, those are going to be allowed. We have a dog and a cat, and while I would say getting pets is a luxury, I wouldn't get a pet unless you like a working animal is different. If you need an animal, for your quality of life, that's a different story. But a pet, a true pet, which our animals are, my miniature pinscher doesn't. I mean, she keeps me warm and snuggly, but she doesn't. She's not a working animal. Our cat is not a working animal. Adopting pets to me really feels like a luxury. Because I don't need them, but we've made a commitment to them. They're part of our family. I'm not going to get rid of them the same reason I wouldn't, I mean, obviously putting up your kid because you can't afford it is a much more extreme example. Like I would put my children before my pets, obviously, but we've already made this commitment to them. So I'm going to take care of them. I feel like I can sacrifice not going out to eat so that I can put my 15-year-old dog on medicine for her back. That's, I've made the commitment to her and to our cat that we're going to take care of them. That just seems like a kind of a basic human decency thing, but not everybody feels the same way. Some people really are in such a tight financial situation that they just can't afford it, and you gotta find somebody else to take care of that furry family member. So it's always about doing what's best for your situation. But for us, that stuff's going to be allowed. Obviously, medical, vision, dental, and pharmacy. I am a chronically ill person. I can't just put that stuff off. A lot of the stuff that I encounter with complications to my illness are pretty dangerous. So I can't just ignore that stuff. Some things I have ignored, like if you can see, I don't know if you can see it on here, but there is a crack in my glasses. And I have been walking around for probably 6 months with this crack in my glasses because it's not across my field of vision and I'm broke. So, I'm not getting new glasses probably anytime soon. And when I do buy glasses, I buy them off of Zenni online because it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, so stuff like non-essential stuff, I'm gonna wait. I am gonna save up and get new glasses because it's about time for my prescription to change anyway. But things like I had pancreatitis a couple of weeks ago and had to go to the emergency room and the hospital, and ended up staying in the hospital for 5 days. That's obviously something you just have to deal with. You just have to find a way to pay for it. So that's not going to be part of my no spend. I'm not going to stop going to the doctor, but and I'm not going to stop like buying things like sanitizing and cleaning products because of my immune deficiency. I really need that stuff. It's just part of life for me. If if it's not part of life for you, I would say you still need to go to the doctor. But things like my glasses being broken, I can still see out of them. Now, if it was cracked across the lens and I couldn't see and I wasn't able to drive, that would be another story. That would be a safety thing. So yeah, that's kind of where that is with that. And so for me, the other thing that I really kind of debated about this, and I decided to leave this on because it's really not that expensive. But notebooks for journaling, but I made my rule that I can only buy a new one once I finish the old one, because I get into a really bad habit of, I see a new journal, I think, oh, that's so pretty, and I buy it, and then I have a blank journal, or I have like a bunch of blank pages in the journal that I was working on. So no more of that. And honestly, I think I'm gonna go back to just the cheap spiral bound journals anyway. I like them a little better because they can lay flat. But yeah, so that's my rule for that. Okay, so what will I not spend money on? This is, so for me, like I said, it was easier to go through and more freeing to go through thinking about what will I spend money on first, because that kind of opened my eyes to what do I normally spend money on, and it just honestly felt less restrictive. Okay, so the things that I won't spend money on. Yarn. That's a big one for me because I love to crochet, but I have, and I work in a craft store part time, so I see a lot of yarn. But I have so much yarn. I've stockpiled it. Like when I see it's on sale, I get some, and I think, oh well, I'll use it for, you know, a gift, or and I do use it for gifts. But I have so much yarn that I haven't crocheted up yet. It will probably last me all year. Um, the next thing is wedding stuff. So like, I wanted to make my own veil, so I have the tulle and everything, and I bought a tiara. And then later I saw another tiara that I liked, so I bought that tiara too, but it was too late to return the first tiara. So now I have two tiaras, and I only have one head. So I didn't need that second tiara, even though I do like it better. Um, it's kind of the idea of, I'm not going to buy anything that I don't need. All of the stuff that we could need for the wedding can probably wait till next year anyway, because it's not going to be until October. But I really justified buying things like floral for the centerpieces that I wanted to make, and like the tiara and the tulle, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like a little jacket to go over my wedding dress. I already got my wedding dress. I don't know. I don't feel quite as bad about that, but because I was really excited when we got engaged. But yeah, so that's no more wedding stuff, because I really think I was using the wedding to justify buying crap that I didn't need. Another one is books. I really like to read a lot, but I have so many books that I haven't finished yet. And then also, we have a really nice local library. And then I also use the Libby app. If I don't have my phone here, but it's this really cool free app. All you need is a library card, and you can borrow the library books, like the ebooks or audiobooks that your local library has available. It's really nice. It's free. I listened to a lot of audiobooks and read a lot of books while I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago. So there are books that I want that I don't have access to through my library, but there are so many other good books that I do have access to through the library that I really need to stop justifying it because they're books. But yeah, so going out to eat and fast food by myself, or initiating any of this stuff. So because I do work a lot being in grad school and having a part-time job, I get really tired when I get home. I'm already really pretty low energy person because of my illness. So I would say, okay, well, I'm just gonna swing through McDonald's and get a salad, or run through Taco Bell and get like some bean tacos, and that's what I'm gonna have for dinner, or that's what I'm gonna have for lunch, because I wouldn't pack lunch the night before. So no more of that. I'm gonna do a meal planning video so you guys can see what I've been doing instead. I will tell you, as a chronically ill person, there are a lot of nights that I do not feel like cooking. I get really tired. But meal planning has saved my butt. When I get out of the habit of meal planning, I do things like buy fast food, and it's really not healthy, and it's not great when your immune system is already compromised to be eating crap. So I'm gonna go through meal planning with you guys. I'll probably wait a little bit because since I am recovering from pancreatitis, my diet is a little weird right now. It consists of like 90% Ensure and then 10% applesauce. So probably won't do a meal planning until I get back onto non-baby food. But yeah, it really saved me a lot of money, and we have a chest freezer in our apartment. It's in our living room. Looks kind of weird, but it honestly does save a lot of money. So yeah. Another thing I'm not going to do, extra gifts. This kind of ties back to me going overboard with Christmas and birthdays. If I see something for my fiance that I like and that I think he'll like, I'll buy it and give it to him when I get home. And he's usually really excited, so I'm happy to give him something, but I just can't afford it. I think we would rather build a life together and have a home than another video game. Just honestly, makeup. I really like makeup. I spend too much money on makeup. I have pretty sensitive skin, so I buy kind of nice makeup. I buy foundation that's like $50. And honestly, what I looked at the expiration dates, probably with the exception of mascara. Everything is going to last throughout the year. And for things like mascara that don't last, what I plan on doing is just, asking for them for gifts. Because they're, if my fiance is going to get me something for my birthday, I'll ask him for stuff that I really need that I'm not buying myself right now. Clothes. I'm not a big clothes person, but I figured I should put it out here because that's another one that I feel like I can justify, because I'm not a big clothes person. So I'll say, oh, well, I don't normally buy this, but then I'll buy like 4 pairs of jeans. And then video games, or, games in general. I'm not a big gamer, but my fiance is, and we do have a Let's Play channel together, but he has a ton of video games. We could not get through all of his video games that he already has in the next year. It would probably take closer to 10 years. And yeah, it's exciting when new things come out, and they're cute. Like if you see, I don't know, Yoshi's Woolly World, where everything's made out of yarn. We just did a Let's Play of that. And yeah, it's really cute. It's adorable. I enjoy playing it. It's a lot of fun playing it with my fiance. It's something that we do together, and it's really fun to bond over working cooperatively on something. But there's a lot of other stuff we can do like that for either games that he already has, or just like other stuff we can do in life. We have a really nice park we can go backpacking 20 minutes from our house for free. We've got a lot of stuff we can do around here that's good bonding stuff that's free. So that's kind of why I threw that on there, because I do feel like a lot of my spending is stuff that I can justify, with the exception of yarn. which is, I would say, 100% selfish. Because I'm really the only one in our house that, well, our cat enjoys it too. But yeah, I'm really the only one that enjoys that stuff. But I feel like everything else, I justify it in some way. And I guess makeup also is not, I'm the only one that's enjoying that. But yeah, that's kind of the whole point, is to reset your spending process, and not spend money on these things that you feel like you need, but you don't really need. You know, I can, if I don't get mascara when this mascara expires, you know, nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm just not gonna have mascara for the rest of the year. Oh well. Um, that's about it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video about what a no spend is. I will probably update you guys a little bit later in the year of how it's going. Since it's February 1st today, we've still got 11 months to go. So I'm planning on doing probably one halfway through the year, just to give an update, and another one at the end of December to show you guys how much money I've saved, how much money I've been able to put towards debt because of this no spend, and really kind of reflecting on how I feel like it's changed my lifestyle and my behavior towards what I have. And, you know, just kind of another benefit of just the overall feeling of gratitude for what I already do have, because there's not really anything I need other than just like medical and food and gas in my car. I could survive on what I've got right now. So yeah, alright. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're interested in doing a new no spend, you know, for the whole year or just for a month, and what your rules are, what you think some good additions or subtractions to my rules might be. Alright, so thanks.